All right, let's talk about grant writing. Yeah, I know. For most researchers, it's one of the most daunting parts of the job. But what if you could change that? What if you could transform it from this total chore into a clear winning strategy? In this explainer, we're going to break down the playbook for building an absolutely undeniable case for your work and turning that dry, technical document into a compelling story that actually gets funded.
Okay, this right here, this is the single most important mindset shift you can possibly make. All the research, all the advice, it all points to one thing. A successful grant isn't just a document filled with data. No, it's a persuasive story. It's a narrative that grabs a reviewer, walks them through a critical problem, and delivers them right to your amazing, impactful solution. It's all about telling a great story. And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Of course, you need excellent science. That's non-negotiable. That's just the price of entry. But when you're in a competition where everyone has good science, the winner is the person who builds the most persuasive, the most coherent, and the most compelling argument around that science. So, if it's all about being persuasive, what's the real secret? Well, it's actually surprisingly simple. You have to stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about the person reading your proposal. It's all about adopting what we call a reviewer-centric mindset. I want you to actually picture your audience for a second. They are reviewing dozens, maybe scores of these applications. They're tired, they're busy, and frankly, they're probably looking for reasons to say no just to get through the pile. So making your proposal clear, concise, and super easy to follow isn't just good writing, it's your most important strategy. Your job is to make their job easy. So with that reviewer in mind, we can move to the next crucial phase. You know, the most important work on your grant actually happens long before you write a single word of the proposal itself. It's all about the pre-writing strategy. This is a huge one. You could have the most brilliant, world-changing idea, but if you pitch it to the wrong funder, it's dead on arrival. It's just not going to happen. That's why your first step is always some rigorous market research, making absolutely sure your project is a perfect fit for what that funder actually wants to support. This whole pre-writing intelligence gathering thing, it really just boils down to 3 key steps. First, you've got to dissect the funder's mission and the specific call for proposals. Second, go study who they've funded before. That's the best clue you have to their real priorities. And third, and this is so crucial, talk to the program officer. Seriously, stop thinking of the program officer as some kind of gatekeeper you have to get past. Think of them as a free expert consultant. A quick professional email with a 1-page summary of your project can give you absolutely invaluable feedback on whether your idea is a good fit and how you might frame it for their specific review panel. All right, so you've done your homework, your strategy is locked in. Now it's time to actually build that persuasive story. And believe it or not, you can simplify the entire writing process by just focusing your narrative on answering the 3 core questions every single reviewer is asking themselves. So what? I mean, really, you have to nail this. This is all about significance and innovation. You have to convince the reviewer, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you're tackling an important problem that really matters. And then you have to show them that your approach is new, it's exciting, and it's genuinely going to move the field forward. If you can't answer so what, honestly, nothing else matters. Okay, question number 2, how? This is your approach and feasibility. Here's where you need to lay out a detailed, rigorous, and this is key, achievable plan. This is where strong preliminary data becomes your superpower, proving that your ambitious idea is actually grounded in reality and that you've got the technical chops to pull it off. And finally, the big one. Why you, right? Why are you and your team the absolute best people on the planet to solve this problem? This is where you get to show off your team's expertise, highlight the unique resources of your institution, and prove that you have a cohesive group of collaborators ready to hit the ground running. Now, and this is super important, answering these questions isn't a one-size-fits-all deal. Different funders have, well, different personalities. So if you look at the NIH, for instance, they're typically more conservative and really prioritize that preliminary data. But then you've got the ERC, which is designed to fund those high-risk, groundbreaking ideas where, extensive preliminary data might not even be possible. The lesson here is crystal clear. You have to tailor your story to your specific audience. For our final section, let's switch gears. We're going to put on our reviewer hats, because the best way to strengthen your proposal is to find and fix the fatal flaws before a reviewer ever even sees them. It's time for some critical self-assessment. These right here,
These are the red flags that will absolutely sink an otherwise great proposal. Is your so what missing? Is your plan just way too big to be believable? Is there not enough data to prove it's even feasible? And, watch out for simple sloppiness like typos. But the original sin, the one that started it all, is always a poor funder fit. This is your final checklist before you even think about hitting that submit button. Okay, here's a real pro tip, something that might feel a little counterintuitive at first. Don't try to hide your proposal's weaknesses. Reviewers are experts. Trust me, they will find them. Instead, address them directly. Acknowledging a potential problem and then presenting a smart contingency plan, that doesn't show failure, it shows rigor, foresight, and critical thinking. It actually makes you look better. Look, you are way too close to your own work. We all are. You have to get fresh eyes on it. And crucially, ask someone who is not an expert in your specific little subfield. They are your perfect stand-in for the generalist who's probably on the review panel. If they can't understand why your project is so important, well, you've got more work to do. So, as we wrap all this up, I want to leave you with this final question to really think about. Have you simply filled out the forms and described your science? Or have you used every single section, every sentence, and every piece of data to build a persuasive, compelling, and ultimately undeniable case for why your work deserves this investment? Because that is a difference between a good proposal and a funded one.